explain what is an inverse function. The first thing we need to know is what is a function. A function is a relationship between an input and an output. It's like in a machine that has an entrance, a procedure or a process, and then has an exit. An inverse function, we mean with inverse the opposite, the contrary. There are some examples to know what is an opposite, what is a contrary. An arrow going to the left, the inverse of an arrow going to the left is an arrow going to the right. Another could be that an arrow going up, the inverse is going an arrow going down. Patricio is going to explain a process of an inverse function.
Okay. We made a chart and we changed the values, like the numbers, to a different type of figures. Almost, we changed like the function as a happy face and the inverse function as a sad face.
So we first have these figures would be a function, but to get an inverse function, what we do is we switch the values. For example, I'm going to choose this heart with this kind of rectangle.
Okay.
And there will be a function of these two. And another one, we can switch the triangle with this
Type of eyes.
yeah. But there's but also we can have a case that we don't have a function. It will be like if in the beginning we would add like two hearts. No, two of these rectangles, and after we switch them, if we have two rectangles in this circle, there won't be a function.
It will be a relationship. Another way to explain it is that here, on happy face, here we had a happy face, and then here we had a sad face. The only thing that we made is we changed sides. And as Bachon says, if in the sad face that was here, when we change it, if it repeats one figure, like he said, like for example, two rectangles to here, it wouldn't be a function, it would be a relation.
And one cool thing about inverse function is like as we said at the beginning,
Like I don't know something.
we first gonna start with a happy face. That means a function, and let's say that in function we introduce the red Sharpie here, and after we do all the process, let's say we get as a result a blue Sharpie. But
The input and the output, as I said in the beginning.
But after in the inverse function, if we use the blue Sharpie that we get as a result from the function, we're gonna get back the red Sharpie.
Now I'm going to ask you some kind of inverse that are really simple. For example, Sebastian, what is the inverse of a man? A woman. And Mujica, what is the inverse of white?
Black.
Santi, what is the inverse of the happy face? It's really simple. So applying to math, we only have to find the contrary or the inverse of the operation of the operators of the relationship. It's really simple. In a function, we are adding, we are gonna rest. If we are multiplying, we are going to divide. It's not that really hard. As you can see in here, we only have to change the values.
And finally, this was an example of how the inverse function works with very simple things like black and white, like woman and man, because it's more easy than we thought, and we hope that this little example can help you to know about the inverse functions.
So we get this information from a site called marisfun.com.
That's all.
That's all. Good.